Now, scientists have found the strongest evidence yet that a planet 124 light years away could be home to life.
NASA has released the first images taken by the James Webb Space Telescope.
The pictures are unlike anything we've ever seen before.
NASA's newest space observatory allows research.
The James Webb Space Telescope, humanity's most advanced eye in the cosmos, has recently detected an object so perplexing and potentially alarming that it has sent ripples across the scientific community. While stationed in its cold, dark perch at Lagrange Point 2, Webb was scanning a region of deep space toward the sculpted group of galaxies when it locked onto an anomaly that defied not only existing astrophysical models but even the most fundamental expectations of known reality. The region in question was usually used for instrument calibration due to its predictable cosmic background, hardly the place for surprises. Yet within its dense layers of infrared data, researchers found something extraordinary, a shadow, an unnatural void surrounded by a strange corona of light. This wasn't simply an invisible mass like a black hole. It seemed to distort the very fabric of space-time, exhibiting none of the predictable gravitational or electromagnetic signatures expected of known celestial phenomena. Unlike black holes, which show clear patterns such as X-ray emissions or gravitational lensing, this object bent neither light nor star orbits in any recognizable way. Instead, it repelled light in fragmented spirals that scattered erratically across Webb's instruments. The distortion resembled theoretical constructs like cosmic strings or space-time tears. What truly stunned researchers was the object scale, far too vast to be a star, planet, or even galaxy. Initial hypotheses of it being a galaxy were abandoned as it exhibited none of the typical galactic features such as spiral arms or star clusters. Instead, it appeared as an amorphous yet geometrically organized web or lattice, undulating as if animated by forces from beyond our universe. Webb's powerful near-infrared and mid-infrared instruments captured time-lapse images of the object, showing fluctuations in both size and energy output. It pulsed as if powered by an internal force, yet remained fixed in space, suggesting it hadn't drifted naturally into its location. It had been placed. This deeply unsettled the astrophysicists observing it. Theoretical physicists and mathematicians were brought in to analyze the data, and some proposed the object might be a rift between dimensions, a plausible model given its behavior. Its structure bore eerie resemblance to hypothetical wormholes or domain walls, and stranger still, it emitted rhythmic pulses not electromagnetic in nature but affecting space-time itself. Webb sensors picked up tiny oscillations synchronized with these pulses, suggesting the telescope was being subtly nudged by a force acting on reality's fabric. The presence of these oscillations altered local space-time geometry, bringing astrobiologists, normally peripheral to such research, into the forefront. The regularity and modulation of the pulses suggested more than just a natural anomaly. They hinted at a system. Some speculated it could be an ancient construct, possibly technological in origin, a megastructure not designed to harness energy like a Dyson sphere but to manipulate space-time itself. This gave rise to the notion of a cosmic relay or stabilizing device created by an intelligence far beyond our comprehension. The structure's pulse intervals and decay curves aligned with prime sequences and recursive mathematical functions, common markers in theoretical communication models. Yet there was no clear message, only a persistent, heart-like throb. If the object is artificial, its implications are staggering. It suggests not just life, but intelligence far surpassing our own, potentially millions or billions of years more advanced. If it is natural, it still shatters the frameworks of modern cosmology. It could be a remnant of the early universe, a byproduct of exotic physics during the Planck epoch, or even a visitor from another universe entirely. Some physicists propose it might be a projection from a higher dimension, like a three-dimensional shadow of a four-dimensional shape, its pulsing nature indicating difficulty stabilizing in our limited reality. Even more disturbing is the idea that it's not passive. The pulses have increased in strength and complexity since first observation, hinting at an escalation, or perhaps a response to our awareness of it. Retrospective scans of older astronomical data reveal faint signs of the object dating back decades, but only with Webb's revolutionary clarity has it become unmistakable. This raises troubling questions. Has it always been there, unnoticed until we had the tools to see it? Or did it arrive recently, maybe even deliberately? Some theorists go further, suggesting it could be a stabilizing pin in space-time itself, something essential to the structure of our universe. Whether artificial or natural, the object challenges our understanding of physics, consciousness, and our place in the cosmos. Its disturbance, or even its mere detection, might have consequences far beyond scientific curiosity. Some theorists suggest it could be an interdimensional observer, a kind of cosmic sentinel designed to monitor emergent civilizations once they reach a threshold of observational capability. Still more radical interpretations tie it to eschatological concepts in physics, proposing that it may be a precursor or harbinger of a universal phase transition, an impending shift in the fundamental constants that govern reality itself. One chilling theory posits that the object is not emitting but containing, functioning as a prison. Its perfect symmetry, fixed location, and space-bending behavior without mass have led some to believe it might be a sealed rupture in the quantum vacuum, or worse, a cage holding an entity bound by space-time not more complex than any known matter-energy configuration. The idea that Webb may not have discovered a window, but a lid, keeping something in, has ignited imaginations across the globe. While there is no consensus yet, every major observatory with high-sensitivity instruments has begun diverting resources to confirm and expand upon Webb's findings. Gravitational wave detectors are scouring for matching ripple patterns, and while theories are being refined, tested, and even refuted, no satisfactory explanation has emerged. The more we observe, the stranger it becomes. Unlike past cosmic mysteries that slowly unravel with more data, this anomaly becomes more confounding the closer we look. The international scientific community is in a state of electric suspense. Governments are monitoring developments. Agencies not typically involved in astronomy, defense, space security, strategic planning units have expressed sudden, intense interest. Though the object is millions of light years away, its very existence threatens to upend humanity's sense of safety in the cosmos. If something can exist that defies the laws of nature so profoundly, what else might be lurking in the hidden architecture of reality? For now, Webb continues to observe, collecting terabytes of data daily, mapping every pulse, shift, and deviation in wavelength. The object remains silent in any conventional sense, no messages, no change in form to suggest activity, but its presence speaks volumes in implication. It declares that the universe is deeper, older, and more complex than even our most audacious theories have dared to consider. And yet, this may be only the beginning. Webb was designed to peer into the origins of time and matter to find the first light of the cosmos. But in that search, it may have stumbled upon a boundary not of time, but of comprehension itself. Whether the anomaly is an artifact, entity, structure, or phenomenon, it has already shifted the course of human thought. It is no longer a question of whether the universe contains secrets beyond our understanding. The question now is, are we prepared to confront them? The anomaly discovered by the James Webb Space Telescope has not only reshaped the boundaries of astrophysical discourse, but also sparked a multidisciplinary wave of inquiry across the entire scientific landscape. Conventional frameworks have failed to contain its mystery, prompting experts to reach into speculative domains once considered fringe. Fields like quantum topology, higher dimensional mathematics, and information theory are now central to decoding what this object might be and what it might signify. Initial spectral analyses revealed a startling feature, an unprecedented level of energy stability. Unlike neutron stars, black holes, or interstellar clouds, all of which exhibit entropy, turbulence, or at least some energy degradation, the object displayed neither decay nor escalation. Instead, it maintained perfect consistency. It either emits or manipulates an energy field that remains impeccably steady, unaffected by cosmic background noise, solar radiation, or gravitational interference. This baffling stability has led to the hypothesis that the object exists in a state of temporal insulation, possibly separated from the arrow of time itself. Temporal insulation, rarely invoked in natural astrophysics, is the rise in quantum mechanics under extremely rare configurations where mass-energy systems decouple from linear time. If this anomaly exists outside that temporal flow, it could be either infinitely ancient or newly arrived from a domain where time behaves differently. Such a possibility reaches far beyond astronomy. It challenges our most foundational assumptions about causality, chronology, and the evolution of physical systems. Further analysis of how light interacts with the object reveals even stranger behavior. No scatter, no diffraction, no polarization, not even the traits exhibited by ultradark matter or black holes. Instead, Light that reaches the object seems to vanish into a state of null interaction, absorbed without conversion into heat or any measurable energy form. This suggests the object may function as an energy sink or a spatial terminus, an endpoint where known physical processes simply stop. Some researchers liken it to a quantum event horizon, not one produced by mass, like a black hole, but one defined by the boundary conditions of reality itself. This introduces a startling scenario. The object could be a fixed point or anchor in a larger cosmic architecture yet unknown to humanity. In theoretical physics, there has long been speculation about topological fixed points in space-time, locations immune to entropy, gravitational collapse, and time decay. Such points are often modeled in simulations of the early universe and may serve as scaffold for the very expansion of space-time. If the anomaly represents one of these scaffolds, it could be an untouched remnant from the birth of the cosmos. And yet, more exotic interpretations persist. Recent computational models, based on the object's interaction patterns with light and matter, suggest its structure may not be made of baryonic or even dark matter, but of a computational substrate. In other words, it might be functioning as a processor, an information manifold operating on principles of universal computation. Its rhythmic pulses might not be emissions, but rather data operations occurring across the quantum foam, a cosmic algorithm, perhaps self-replicating, or even self-aware. The idea of a universe as a computation isn't new, but this may be the first time it has observable support. If the object operates as a processor, it raises profound questions. For whom is it computing? Is it a node in a galactic-scale machine? A fragment of some transcendent, distributed intellect? Or is it a solitary, autonomous relic, left behind by a now-extinct civilization, continuing its program function until the end of time? Engineers from aerospace, AI, and data science disciplines have been quietly recruited to simulate the object behavior using neural networks and quantum computing systems. Yet even with petaflops of processing power and advanced AI models, trained on physical law datasets, no simulation has been able to replicate its pulse cycles. Every attempt disintegrates within milliseconds. They either overshoot into thermodynamic chaos or collapse into meaningless stasis. The system the object appears to operate under simply isn't based on the same logic humans use to build machines or analyze the natural world. But what troubles scientists the most isn't the object's alien logic, it's that it appears optimized. Every aspect of its presence, from energy absorption to spatial footprint to pulse modulation, is honed to perfection. There's no waste, no irregularity, no deviation. It functions with an elegance that borders on the divine. Some have called it the perfect object, not out of awe, but out of fear. Perfection in nature is a sign of artificiality. Evolution does not favor flawless efficiency. It favors redundancy and adaptability. Only a conscious intelligence, or a perfectly tuned natural phenomenon from a universe with utterly different laws, could create something this exact. The object location also defies statistical expectations. Positioned far from any major gravitational wells, active galactic centers, or regions of heavy cosmic radiation, it occupies what one astrophysicist described as the quietest room in the universe. This silence isn't coincidental. The probability of such a structure arising in that precise place randomly is vanishingly small. It seems to have been intentionally placed there, either to hide it from view, shield it from interference, or isolate it from the flow of the rest of the universe. That sense of deliberate positioning has introduced a new vector into the discussion: surveillance. Some researchers have begun considering whether the object is observational in nature, not a transmitter, but a receiver. Positioned in an unobtrusive location where cosmic interference is minimal, it would have a perfect vantage point to monitor radiation patterns, galactic movements, or even civilizations like ours. If it has been active for millions or even billions of years, it may possess a record of the cosmos more comprehensive than all human observation combined. Yet, even the surveillance model introduces its own chilling possibilities. What if it does not merely record? What if it evaluates? Some philosophers of science have posited that the object could be functioning as a kind of cosmic orbiter, a mechanism set in place to measure thresholds of intelligence, energy usage, or other criteria linked to universal behavior. If so, then we may have triggered a threshold event, the moment when an emergent civilization becomes detectable to higher-order systems. From here, the layers of implication become more profound. Philosophers, theologians, and theorists from entirely outside the hard sciences have been drawn into the conversation. The idea that the object might function like a watcher, a term loaded with implications both mythological and computational, has ignited heated debate. In ancient traditions, the concept of cosmic sentinels or divine monitors runs deep. Cultures across the globe have shared stories of hidden observers, silent guardians, or vast intelligences waiting in the stars. Now, confronted with a real, inexplicable structure seemingly beyond natural explanation, these once dismissed ideas are gaining renewed attention. Adding another layer of strangeness is the object silence. For something of such immense complexity and energetic presence, the lack of any overt emission, radio, X-ray, gamma, or otherwise, is as startling as its existence. When objects in space emit nothing, they are either inert or hidden. This one is clearly neither. The only explanation for its muteness is intentional concealment, which leads to the next question: what else is hidden? If such an object could remain unseen by all previous telescopes, then it stands to reason there may be others, perhaps many more, perhaps closer. The Webb telescope, though powerful, is only now beginning to unlock parts of the sky previously veiled in infrared opacity. Its detection of this anomaly might not be an isolated fluke, but the first tear in a curtain that's about to fall away, and what lies beyond could render the familiar cosmos entirely unrecognizable. The possibility of an entire network of these objects, each acting as part of a coordinated system, is one of the most sobering ideas to emerge. Some theorists have proposed a metaweb, a hidden infrastructure woven into the deep structure of the universe, linking remote regions through non-local quantum or gravitational mechanisms. This system, if real, could operate across billions of light years without delay. It would mean that the universe is already colonized, not physically, but informationally monitored, orchestrated. Efforts are underway to scan adjacent sectors of space for similar distortions or pulse patterns. So far, nothing of identical signature has emerged, but strange echoes, subharmonic pulses, and anomalous infrared echoes have been tentatively detected in at least 2 other sectors. Whether these are related to the primary anomaly remains unconfirmed, but they follow a similar template: irregular gravitational metrics, energy profiles that don't decay over time, and pulses that do not align with any known natural astrophysical process. If this is indeed part of a larger pattern, then the object Webb discovered might be a keystone, either the central node of a hidden network or one of many such structures placed with purpose across the observable universe. The implications of such a scenario are breathtaking. It would redefine the universe not as a wild expanse of randomness, but as a kind of ordered system dense with information, intelligence, or both. In the background of these discoveries, a quiet but growing concern hums among policymakers and space agencies. The discovery, while not a security threat in any direct sense, represents a profound unknown. Plans for future missions, especially those involving deep space probes or long-range transmissions, are being reassessed. If the object has capabilities we do not understand, especially in terms of perception or response, then interacting with it without full comprehension could be reckless. Nevertheless, the search continues. Humanity cannot help but look deeper. Webb's team have prioritized long-term observation protocol for the anomaly, and instruments are being recalibrated to probe not only the object itself, but the space around it, checking for wavefront disturbances, microlensing patterns, even changes in the cosmic microwave background that might reflect its presence on a deeper cosmological level. And behind the data and speculation lies a human truth, a collision between knowledge and mystery. For centuries, we looked at the stars and imagined gods, monsters, and distant civilizations. We created myths to explain what we could not understand. Now, with instruments of exquisite precision, we have found something that our myths may have prefigured but our science cannot yet grasp. The James Webb Space Telescope was designed to bring clarity to the origins of the universe, but it has instead stumbled upon a confrontation with the unknown. Not a question of how the universe began, but of what it is becoming, or what it has been all along, waiting to be discovered by a species just beginning to open its eyes. In that discovery lies both wonder and dread. Not because the object is hostile, there is no evidence it even recognizes us, but because it shows us, in stark detail, just how little we understand. Our reality is not complete. Our cosmos is not silent. And somewhere out in the vast dark, something impossible is watching, or waiting. As continued analysis of the James Webb Space Telescope's data progresses, the anomaly's implications deepen, not just for astrophysics, but for the fundamental questions that define existence. One of the most puzzling elements to emerge in recent weeks is a realization that the object may not be entirely physical in the way we define matter and form. This isn't merely a question of exotic particles or unknown elements. It's a question of substance itself. Preliminary computational models suggest that the anomaly exhibits characteristics consistent with a form of metamaterialization, existing partially within observable space and partially within a non-spatial framework that defies conventional coordinates. This raises a possibility that the structure exists in a semi-instantiated state, neither fully real in our terms nor entirely abstract. It's as if the object is a projection or cross-section of something much larger, more complex, and fundamentally non-Euclidean. In simple terms, what the Webb telescope may be observing is a sliver of a structure that primarily exists in dimensions beyond the three spatial ones we occupy. This concept aligns with speculative models in string theory and M-theory, which propose that reality is a higher dimensional manifold where our universe is a brane, a membrane-like surface intersecting with others in higher dimensional space. This has led theorists to revisit equations once deemed too abstract for real-world application. Calabi-Yau manifolds, complex, curled-up geometric spaces possibly representing hidden dimensions, have re-entered the conversation. It's now proposed that the anomaly may be a region where one of these hidden dimensions is temporarily exposed or unfolding into visible space, resulting in an object governed by principles from a deeper layer of reality. Even more compelling is the discovery that the pulses emitted from the structure show patterns of dimensional folding. Rather than spreading out like traditional waves, they vanish and reappear at various points in space, skipping conventional movement through distance. This teleportation-like phenomenon suggests the pulses move through topological shortcuts, obeying a different set of physical laws only accessible near the anomaly. In simulations, these behaviors resemble mathematical models of non-local singularities, hypothetical entities in quantum gravity where space-time connects non-linearly to itself, like wormholes or knots in the cosmic fabric. If this is what Webb has found, the object could be a node in a larger network of connected realities, perhaps even linking separate universes. That possibility becomes even more provocative with evidence suggesting the structure might not originate from our universe at all. Its energy signature is inconsistent with the Big Bang's thermal history and does not match the cosmic microwave background. Instead, it presents a unique temperature plateau, hinting at an exogenic origin, perhaps from a parallel domain governed by different physical constants. In this scenario, the anomaly might be a probe, a fragment, or a cosmic intruder that slipped through the thin boundary separating universes in a multiverse. Some string theory models allow for such events, where bubble universes collide or exchange information. Thus, the structure Webb sees could be interuniversal shrapnel, neither entirely theoretical nor without precedent, as extreme entropy could allow such crossovers. Another school of thought proposes that the object isn't an object at all, but a phenomenon, an emergent event like a storm or a phase transition in the fabric of space itself. In this model, the anomaly marks a boundary between vacuum states, indicating a transformation at the most fundamental level, akin to water turning into steam. This would imply that the universe isn't just aging or expanding, it's evolving, possibly altering the very laws of nature. If vacuum phase transitions are occurring, they could transform gravity, mass, the speed of light, and even the direction of time itself. That may explain why Webb detects no emission from the object. It's not fully within our universe, but instead is imposing itself from somewhere else. Others interpret the structure through the lens of complexity theory, seeing it as the endpoint of informational evolution. From this perspective, the universe acts not just as a physical space, but as an information system, progressing toward maximum complexity. The anomaly could be a convergent attractor, a final state toward which all paths of evolution lead, regardless of origin. It might not have been built or sent but grown as an inevitable consequence of cosmic computation. If that's true, then we may not just be observing something extraordinary. We may be looking at our own future, a state where matter, energy, and information merge into forms of being we can't yet comprehend.